Look at how to draw a line graph on Google Sheets. So for now, I'm just going to ignore this column of data. And we're going to just imagine that we wanted to draw one for one variable or one country or one team or whatever it is that you've picked. And then normally if you're doing a line graph, you would be plotting it over time. So you're looking at how something has changed over time. So we're just going to highlight the two variables, and we're going to do Shift, Command and the down arrow to highlight my full list. And then we're going to go to Insert and Chart. And it's already brought it up for me in a line graph. Okay, but, oh no, hold on, it's brought it up as a scatter graph. So I want to change that to a line graph so that I can see the trend over time. Okay, it's because the points were so close together on that last one. So that's now showing the line graph of how the UK's CO2 emissions have changed over time. It's CO2 emissions that my data set's looking at. Now, for example, I might want to consider comparing this with a different country. So if I want to then add in a second country, so on mine I'm looking at Canada, so let's bring this back now, then I can add in that to my same chart. So if I click the chart or double click it, then I can bring up this information and we can see series. So at the moment I've got the United Kingdom, and the series is just this series of data or this line. So I can then add a new series, and if I press the grid with the 4 things in it, then I'm selecting the new range of data. So I can literally just go back to my data, highlight Canada, Shift Command down button, and then OK. So you can see I've now got the 2 different countries in there. So I've got the United Kingdom and I've got Canada, and I would be able to compare the 2. So obviously there was something happening here. At this point it changed and Canada had higher CO2 emissions than the UK, and so on. You will need to go back to your graph whenever you finalised it and just double check that your axis labels are correct. So for example, on this one, I've got United Kingdom as my y-axis and X as year. So my independent variable is year, that makes sense, but my y-axis UK is not correct. So I now need to go to Customize, Chart and Axis Titles, and I'm going to select the vertical axis. So this is not correct, it's actually the CO2 emissions, and I would need to include the units on there as well. And now the graph reads much clearer. So always go back and double check that the actual kind of layout of the chart and the axis labels and so on are all correct, because that's going to help you with the marks in the IA. We might want to change the chart title as well, so we can just type in the new title on here and then you've got your information.